Hey everyone, welcome to Rolling Across the Pond. We are doing a tea break for Hermit Chronicles episode 1. So today I do not have the original cast. It is me, Isaac, and Luke. And we are just going to talk about episode 1. We're going to talk a bit about the characters, because I know I promised that. And we're going to hang out and chat and do lives together. And so if you enjoy that, great. If not, who needs you? I'm feeling feisty again, guys. You know, I went through that stage of, I'm a bit tired. Now I'm on it. I'm ready to fight you, audience. Not really. In real life, I'm a really puny man, so don't hurt me. I'm squishy. Let's start with how I always start with. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm like, I just did like a week and a half of work coming back from vacation from Disney World. So I'm like weirdly like, oh, I want to like lay back down, but I'm also like, yay, getting back into like the swing of things.
Yeah, sure. Wow, yeah. Because you do night shifts, so.
Yeah. Which is like its own beast.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's always like the weird part is just getting off and I'm like, oh, everybody's like, because I'm usually the opposite traffic. Like everybody's going to work or like going to drop their kids off at school. And I'm like, I'm pulling in. That's the great part is everybody's leaving in the morning and I get a good parking spot. That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the one perk. Yeah, I'm sure there's other great things. But I'm pretty sure your sleeping pattern's probably like.
Yeah, it is a little weird. I would not be able to do night shift if I was in any other city except Las Vegas.
Right.
Because like being awake at like crazy times, I'm just like, oh, I'm hungry. Like, what's open? And I'm like, oh, everything's still open.
Yeah.
And when I lived in California and worked at Disneyland, like sometimes we'd close and like we wouldn't be out of there till like 2 a.m. or something. And like a lot of places like stay open like past 9 in like that area.
Yeah. When I worked when I was working in California, I worked until about 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes because I was the new guy, so I had all the late shifts. And the only place that was open was a nightclub that it was just down the road. It was easy just to go in, but it was like I'm not going in there. Like I know what they come out and do. They're like throwing up. So. Yeah, I usually just pack up all my food and then put on a film towards that time because I'm like, there's nothing really happening anymore. Not fun. How are you doing, Luke?
Good. Yeah, I have the very early morning shift, so I'm kind of jealous. Do you prefer night?
What's your early morning shift start? Like 5?
4.
Ew. Yeah.
That's what happens when you're online school is based on the other side of the globe.
Fair enough.
It's fun. Interesting. Makes you feel worldly while just in your room. But yeah.
Back when I was still going to college, the college I went to, it was like a community college, but it was like they were very geared towards like no matter your schedule you could learn. So they were pretty much like a 24-hour college. So I would start my classes at like 4 a.m. and end around like 9 o'clock, like or 8, depending on which day it was, because it was like AB days. And then I would go home and I would see kids getting ready, like and standing and waiting for the bus, and I would be going back to bed, and then waking up, going to work, go home, change, and then I would go to marching band practice.
Wow.
And that was repeat.
That's insane.
But I did love, like, I'm like, yes, getting all that stuff done in the morning.
Yeah, it's true. But I guess but you have to study and everything because you're doing nursing and stuff like that. So, right, Luke?
Yeah, sorry, I thought we were still talking about Isaac, and I was like, oh, cool, we got the same thing going. Nice.
I don't know, what were you studying, Isaac?
I was doing music.
Oh, nice.
For a long time, yeah.
Same thing.
Luke is going more for a pure cleric. I was going for like a bardic, like healing. There you go.
I would still want a nurse over a musician giving me certain injections and whatnot.
No. Next time you're at the hospital, I'm gonna call ahead and I'm gonna be like, don't. I'm gonna set my drum set up in the corner and he's gonna be fine.
I will protest. So yes, you were saying, Luke. Sorry, we interrupted you about how are you doing?
Good. Yeah. Not much happening. So very excited to see the life of Reader rather than myself.
Yes, that is why. Okay, listeners, this is ultimately why we do these things, because our life is either mundane or it's nice and it's good, but if you can hold a sword and stab somebody, or you can go on an epic adventure, why wouldn't you? You know? So that's why we play these games, is so we can escape from the mundane, escape from the everyday routine, and slay a dragon, or even during COVID, go to a pub, in make believe and have a drink that that even brings us closer together. So yeah, I totally understand that.
Why would I continue my life as a socially awkward living stereotype of a Canadian when I could be a socially awkward Canadian stereotype?
It's fair.
The only difference is the antlers.
Well, he does have like floppy hair. Yeah.
Next time we're gonna come out with a video portion. He's gonna gel his hair into moose antlers.
You're gonna put moose. Yeah. Moose.
Yeah, I'll get a beak and some feathers. I'll feather my hair.
That's it. And I will just be a black screen and a voice.
You could put on like some glow in the dark paint over your eyes, like eyeshadow, and then just turn off the light, and it'll just be glowing eyes in the darkness.
Yes, and then just a booming voice. Oh man, that would be super weird.
The Watcher, on full circle.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Be a Watcher. I was scrolling through TikTok because I'm all about TikTok nowadays. So I was scrolling through and I found, how you can do different video stuff, like you can change yourself to look pretty or make yourself look.
Oh, like all the different filters and stuff.
That's the word, filters. I'm still old. I'm still too old for those things.
You're the one on TikTok.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm a watcher on TikTok. But anyway, so I saw this guy or this girl. I'm not gonna be a sexist person and just say that gender. They were putting their phone over Friends, and they had the cartoon filter where it turns the heads into a cartoon, and it was actually turning the cartoon, the Friends, Ross and Rachel and all of them, into cartoon heads. And that's incredible, like how it even does not real people. So I was like, maybe we could do that, and then I'd feel more comfortable doing videos.
Well, it's like, have you seen the filter that brings pictures to life?
Yes. That's so weird.
That is like so like they just start blinking and like looking around and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, super creepy. Not okay with it. Yeah.
I always thought that would be like a fun thing to do, is just like get like one of those, like, of course everybody would have to have their camera facing forward.
Yeah. And
do like the little bit of motion capture to do like the face rigs and all that.
Oh, yes, so true. Yeah, just to get even just the mouth moving.
And I'm just like, they probably had a handful of animals that we could choose from. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, we'll see. I might look into that. Because I do want to do videos, because, I mean, obviously, I have a deaf son, and I want to reach the deaf community somehow. And I would love to do videos for the deaf community. Even I would love to do, like, sign language episodes, but that's all 10 years from now, when I'm old and doing this too long. And
we'll finally get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
There you go. There you go. That's a prophecy right there. Yeah. So I'm doing well. Yeah, nothing's really different with me. I mean, for the guys here, I shaved, and I've been shaving for the past 3 days. The first time in 2 years that I've been this clean. So that's a bit weird. How
does your kids respond? Because you always see those funny videos, like when like the father will finally shave and they like kind of like, why do you look like that?
So my son is very opinionative, and he always says, "Daddy, you need a haircut," or "Daddy, you need to shave." And so this time I did it without him knowing, and he came home because he was out with they went to the zoo or something. And they came back, and he looked at me and he was like, "So I had fun at the zoo." And I was like, "Really? The one time I did this just extreme, no response." And then even my wife goes, "What do you think of his face?" And he goes, "Yeah, I like it." And then he just carries on with his life. Like, I wasn't even in the room when he said it. So I think he's okay with it. Who knows? But my daughter is like, I feel like she's kind of missing the beard because she likes to grab it and push her face into it because that's how she sleeps. She pushes her face into things, and my beard was just perfect for like the squishiness but yeah, she's okay. She now just licks my cheeks, and it's just the weirdest sensation. Yeah. Babies put things in their mouths. That's a warning to all new parents. Your baby's gonna put things in its mouth. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's gonna happen. Just let it happen. Just make sure it's not a cable or anything. So yeah. Yeah. So other than that, just being a parent, getting ready for my son to go to school in like 2 weeks, and doing this podcast. That's my life. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's a whole nother D&D campaign in itself right there.
Oh, man. But, yes, let's get, I was going to say let's get into the episode. Yeah, you know what, let's start with the episode. I guess my first question is, like, when I introduce these birds to you guys, does that even bring, like, to Isaac and Luke, not to your characters, but to you as people, has that made you think of what's going on? Why are these birds important? Or, like, is it just a niche introduction thing? Or was it just okay, let's get into the action?
Oh, no. Yeah. I liked it. I liked the more of, like, being summoned into an adventure. You know, of course, everybody is always mad when you're like, everybody meets in a tavern or, you know, but I'm just like, I still like everybody meets in a tavern. It's perfect. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like, still, this way is cool. And then like, because of the way we gathered, it was a fun way to introduce our characters while also advancing the story.
Yeah, and giving like people a glimpse of what you are about without being in a high intense situation of, you have to get this object, you have to do these things. It's just you at home, or you what you're doing, and your casualness.
I felt it was way more organic in that way. It wasn't just like, yes, I am Isaac, the owl bear. I come from a family of like farmers. Like it was just like, oh, you just see him in that setting, and then you're moving forward.
What did you think, Luke?
Yeah, I would say it's a good segue to say like a good way to introduce them, because I was thinking that I knew that's what birds were, just as pigs are counselors. Birds are usually messengers. I knew that from Red and all them. But I liked. I was thinking it is a good way to get Isaac. What do I feel like I can't say his name? I feel like it's going to be a spoiler if I say it. Yeah,
Willie.
It's fine. You can say his name.
It's a good way to get Willie and
I'm the great mysterious one.
and Reader's introduction. And I was thinking there might be people that are like, oh, I want to start with knowing the origins of Reader before I see him.
Yeah.
So I was like, this might be a way of people knowing what Reader's like. So I was like, okay, so I want this to be his personality. And I felt like it was very genuine, being like, oh yeah, well, Reader travels a lot, so we're not really sure where he would be. Maybe in like library, probably, because he's a library kind of person.
Yeah.
Like it was good. I think it was a good segue, like a good way to introduce Reader and Willie through how to communicate with these people.
Yeah,
like Reader being paranoid and just being like, I know it's actually that guy.
Yes, that's funny. Yes. Actually, that brings me to my next question, and this is specifically towards you, Luke. Because just to pull from Animal Kingdom, I don't think you refer yourself as firmly as you do in Hermit Chronicles as a deer.
Yeah, I think his origin is that he thought he was his entire life. That's why he was reading.
Interesting.
Like his brothers,
okay.
Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, like whatever, like birds. So he was like, oh, he's Reader. Grew up thinking he was a deer, and that's why he didn't really know like how strong he was and things like that. Like he thought he could get away with, oh yeah, that cult, that's me. Like,
Interesting. Yeah, it just because like you said it throughout the first episode, and I was like, he didn't talk to me about this. He didn't. He just threw it out there, and I'm just like, okay. It sounds like he truly believes he is, so I'm gonna let him roll with it. But I was just like, am I wrong? Is he a deer?
No, he is a moose. He's a moose that thinks. I did tell you about this, but that was like a year ago.
Oh, probably.
Like when I first pitched the idea of Reader,
sure,
it was, oh, he thinks he's a deer,
sure.
but he's actually this big moose.
Yeah,
somewhat similar.
Yeah.
Same thing is like when you corrected me the first time, I was like, "What?" And I was like, "No. He thinks he's." Yeah. I had to like stop and be like, and I was like, "Well, my character isn't high intelligence, so he'll just accept it." And like, we are hermits, so I've just been mostly hanging out with my own kind of people, and then now I'm like exploring the world.
There's different kinds of looking deer. Yeah, no, it is.
That's why he has a sleigh. That's why, he has the reindeer kind of name. Yeah. So I want Hermit Chronicles to be like, oh yeah, he thinks he's a deer, but eventually these Hermit Chronicles he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm actually a moose.
Well, if he leaves, we still don't know if you're gonna die or not. Yeah.
That it's like I was saying earlier, we just ended a campaign. So one of our characters, he came in late to our campaign, but he played a grung. Secretly, he was a slad.
Oh.
And not even he knew he was one. That's just how I had it written, because I created his character for him. And so there was a god named Phoenix, and he's the god of chaos, and he sent the grung / slad into the group in order to like further cause more chaos. And like throughout the campaign, I kept like having other people be like, what is that slad doing with you? And he just kept thinking I was like saying like a slang term at him and stuff like that, because he's still kind of new to D&D. And then it finally came out in the end. He's like, you were just using me. And I was just like, well, yeah, I was playing the god of chaos.
That's awesome. That's very clever.
What's the difference? I'm new to D&D-ish.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, so grung are more like frog looking, and then slads are more like bigger toad, like think battle toads, but with like Wolverine claws. And like depending on their colors, like the different kinds of like chaotic magic that they have and stuff like that.
But it's not like they're the spawn of fiends or something, right?
No, they're literally born of chaos. So like things start going crazy and they're there. Or like things could summon them from like the abyss.
Yeah. Just back to the episode. When for Isaac, when did you originally know you were gonna get that totem from your mother in the campaign? Or is that like something you already had and you were like, okay, I'll just add that to the story? Because I was just like,
yeah. Well, like when you're building a druid, it's like, oh, you could have like the different features, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a totem. Like I'll just have like a little necklace. And I was like, what will it be? And I was like, I'm a very family person. And I was like, well, I want this guy to be a big, lovable dude, but if violence comes to violence, he's there, for it. He just goes 100% on whatever's happening.
Sure.
But yeah, and I was like, and in real life, I love both of my grandmothers, and nice. I was like, what could be something that's dark, but you're also like, oh, that's adorable. So then I just looked up. I was like, what's the closest bone to your heart? And it's like sternum. I was like, all right, I carved a piece of her sternum, and it's my totem.
And I have to say this, both Reader and Willie are adorable characters. Like just as I play with you guys, I'm like, I can't let anything bad happen to these guys. Whatever they want is good, because they just, the way you guys play is like you're too good to where I'm like, you know what, this is gonna, I can't be grimy and crunchy because you guys are so good, and that's great. I think it does bring a different atmosphere, a different aspect of Rolling Across the Pond, in that if you want a cleaner side, watch or listen to these. But at the same time, you still get the story, you still get the excitement and the mystery and whatnot. And now, and listeners, when I was thinking about this campaign, I did not take into consideration their size, but after they told me their original size, I went with it anyways, because this is like an espionage. This is a don't grab too much attention, get out as fast as you can kind of campaign. It's a dungeon crawler. It's I don't know what else you want to call it, but it is that kind of campaign. But in my head, it was with a lot more sneak and smaller guys. But it just makes it even better that like we can play around and show that like size doesn't matter in a way. We're also fighting that stereotype because of what we're doing. So yeah, it's great how it's turning out to be. And
I will add on to that like I know a lot of people sometimes when they go to play D&D, they're like, oh, we need to optimize, like we need a healer, we need a tank, we need all that, like they get too much in the meta of it. Like
yes.
Like usually when I play, I'm like, who do you want to play? Or like sometimes when I start campaigns, I don't allow my players to know who their other like players are gonna play as.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, just make what you want to play, and as long as you have fun and play it,
totally.
you can still, like, we're big dudes that are like horrible at stealth. We still pulled off some heists.
It's true, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and I think that is one thing that I love about the people I play with is like it's not about getting the best character or winning the game per se. It's just making a character, living its life through and living it true to the character that they made, and not like meta maxing or like in combat. They're not like, okay, pause the combat, let's create a strategy and then come back to the combat. It's like, no, in the moment decisions, and it's like you kind of want that. You want that immersion, because otherwise it's just I mean, this is my opinion. There are campaigns where you do just create that and you fight, and if that's a campaign you want, I'm sure there's GMs out there that are totally for it, and you know, we're all come for different reasons, but I like the fact of storytelling and creating community and inclusivity and all of that. So yeah, I'm glad that this campaign has come to that, and even Animal Kingdom is about that. Like they still don't know the full amount of what other people's goals are and stuff like that. So it's a bit interesting, and so I'm glad we have that included in this and in general in Rolling Across the Pond throughout. Yeah. Yeah, so back to the episode. Being kidnapped. Was that something you expected, or was it okay, what did I actually sign up for here? Or where is Jesse going with this? Was that kind of your thinking, or is it like, meh, you know what? Let's see where this goes.
I feel like I was like, all right, so this is how they're getting us to the meeting area. But I feel like Willie's thinking was just like, should have stayed back on the farm. But also, it was like, should have stayed back on the farm, but we're here, so let's go. Like,
sure, right, sure, that makes sense. Yeah. Would it surprise either of you to know that was an on the spot kind of decision? I was just like, well, if people don't know where it is, they need to not know where it is exactly, so they need to be blindfolded somehow, and that's how it happened. I was just like, okay, this is what's going on. I hope they're okay with it.
It sounded legit. Like it's like, all right, it was bags. I think that did crumble a little bit when it was like, oh yeah, Reader has 2 bags on his head.
Yes,
but
yeah.
But you played it well.
Sure, thanks.
And once again, like slowly revealing everybody taking off the bags and everything, like was a good.
Yeah,
it served the story very well.
Definitely, I agree with that. It's very true.
Will they know where they are though in the future?
No. No one will ever know, so that way I don't have to explain it.
Well, we could just say like, oh yeah, Reader and Willie met up in Green Falls or whatever. Not that it's a straight path from anywhere. It's just the Green Meadows now. Like
Maybe.
It'll be like an Adam West transition. I'll just be like, Reader, are you ready to go to the secret base? And it's like, and then we're there.
Yes, maybe. We might do it at a later date.
they're so big, it
We'll
fills
see.
up the entire screen. Then just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I will have to say, and listeners, because this is not going to be a 2-year game. It might seem that way because it would probably be released that way, but we probably play a lot of these and then do tea breaks after. But we're doing a short one because I want that. This was a way to originally introduce Willie into the campaign, and get a picture of Reader. But in itself, it's coming together and creating something different and new. And I like what I'm seeing, but I also don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to keep it in a short series. But in saying so after they retrieve an object and the objective is done, they do go back to their own homes and then are called again by these birds to do another mission. And so later on in the next mission, I guess you can say, I will say, you've done a few of these now, and time has passed in a different sense than in Animal Kingdom, which is it's just a consecutive every day counts. So time lapse is a bit different in Hermit Chronicles, but it's just because the short amount of episodes that I want to produce through these guys. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to be in other things. We'll have Isaac and hopefully Willie in the main campaign at some point, and Reader and Luke will also be in this campaign, and he's also in other campaigns that we are doing, and I'm hoping Isaac will join other campaigns as well. Any kind of final thoughts? Oh, what did you think of your the NPCs? I don't remember the
Kayla.
Cool. Yeah, Kayla. There we go. And even Caesar. What did you guys think of them?
Yeah, I've always liked Caesar. Caesar's cool. And Kayla,
Yeah.
I feel like could have a bigger thing, but I think having them as what they are is good. Just
Sure.
backups and
Yeah,
possibly getting their own story in the future. But I think where they
yeah,
are,
it's fun to have them there, but I do have to be like, oh yeah, it's not just me and Reader. It's like we have a whole crew.
Yeah. So sometimes I do, because I play all those. Spoiler alert, I play all of them, so if you think they're different... No, just kidding, of course, you all know. I was talking to the listeners, Luke. But I always feel like I talk too much because I'm every single one of them, and I'm like, okay, they all need to be included because there's not very many other people in this podcast. But, it works out. But yeah, they're a bit of fun to... like a split personality in my own brain. But I try to make it about you two, and it's kind of like they play a part, but it's like if you watch a spy film, you don't know about the driver until, like, let's say they're either going to get caught by the police or that they're, like, needed immediately, or if they need to go do something silly or something that creates chaos. And so that's kind of what they are. They're the afterthoughts or the comedic relief in a way. But in general, these guys are the comedic relief in their own stuff. So
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like the background actors that are like consistently in the show.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They may get like 1 or 2 lines there, but you're always like, oh yeah, the secretary is played by.
yes, yeah, exactly. Perfect analogy. Yeah. Yeah. So any final thoughts? Anything you really liked about like starting this first episode or anything you didn't like? the floor is yours.
I am loving this campaign. Like you said earlier in this tea break, the main campaign is very much like dismemberment and gore. This one is a lot of like, I feel like we do have a license to kill, but we just don't use it. Like we're just like, oh,
for now,
could kill somebody. It would make the job much easier, but we don't really want to kill people.
The main campaign is like a hard PG-13. We're like a soft PG.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
Like
yes.
we barely made it into PG-13.
We had to throw in a few extra things to get it just there.
This campaign is good for people my age, of like 14 and younger.
No, we say we're not going to do. The joke dies with the last tea break we did. Or the last episode we did. That's the joke.
What?
For those.
Oh, okay. My birthday's not for like 3 days. Then we can start playing on 50.
Is your birthday in 3 days, really?
I think it actually might be. Oh, it is, exactly.
Oh. My birthday's in 8 days.
Yeah.
My birthday is in...
Remember, you have to say in days.
2.5 months. Oh, I gotta say days? Oh, that's a whole nother...
It's probably a 30 and 31. What? So you just add 61 to how many days are left in the month.
46 days.
That's a lot of days. We'll do a
countdown. At the time of recording.
We'll do a countdown.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, if anybody listening are like anime fans, not a lot of people like filler episodes. But if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, everybody loves the driver's license episode. That's what we are. That might be a very weird niche reference, but for those who get it, will get it.
Yes. I have to like go back in my bank. They only I had to go from what do you call it? What's his name? The Cell, not Frieza. I'm putting Frieza and Cell together, and it's too much for my own brain.
I want to say it was before the Cell saga.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's Piccolo and Goku going to get their driver's license for some reason. They're in regular clothes, and it is one of my favorite episodes. I'll say that.
Nice.
But cool. It's just like nothing to do with the main plot. But everybody I've ever talked to, everybody loves that episode. That's us. we're the filler episode, but we'll connect eventually.
Yeah, definitely. So, with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this. And for those who enjoy these times, I hope you really enjoyed it. And for those who don't, why are you listening? Why'd you get this far? It's already been like half an hour. Get out of here. Just leave. We don't want you here. Always follow us on Instagram at Rolling Across the Pond. Follow us, go to our website to get all the news and all the new episode releases, or you can find us on all podcasting providers. Please rate us 5 stars and give us all the good stuff, because that actually helps our podcast grow. And for others to find us easier. And apparently Luke still wants me to do the fan art. He doesn't even write fan art anymore. He just holds up a blank piece of paper. It's like, what do you call it? Doctor Who, when he holds up his ID card and there's nothing on there. That's exactly what Luke is doing now with his fan art.
I should be allowed to have thieves' cant in real life, because that's what this is. Like, I don't even have to say fan art or anything. Just hold up a piece of paper and they'll be like, oh, yes, I get.
There is an ability to where you could do that in D&D.
Like, it's really good to set.
But we're ending the episode now. So thank you for listening. Hope you're having a good day, and hope you enjoyed that cup of joe that you had with us. Bye.